The future of food is being shaped by revolutionary innovations that challenge traditional agricultural methods and dietary habits. As the global population soars towards an estimated 9.7 billion by 2050, the need for sustainable food production has never been more critical. Conventional farming practices are increasingly under scrutiny due to their environmental impact, including deforestation, water consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions. To address these challenges, a new wave of technological advancements and dietary shifts are emerging, offering promising solutions that could redefine the way we produce and consume food. Among these innovations, vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets stand out as potential game changers. This article explores these trends in sustainable food production, examining their potential impact on the environment, public health, and the food industry. Vertical farming, revolutionizing agriculture. What is vertical farming? Vertical farming is an innovative agricultural method that involves growing crops in vertically stacked layers, often within controlled indoor environments. This technique allows for the cultivation of a wide variety of crops, including leafy greens, herbs, and even some fruits, in spaces that are typically much smaller than traditional farms. Vertical farms can be established in urban areas, reducing the distance food needs to travel from farm to table, which in turn lowers carbon emissions associated with transportation. The environmental impact of vertical farming. One of the most significant advantages of vertical farming is its potential to drastically reduce the environmental footprint of food production. Traditional agriculture requires vast amounts of land, water, and pesticides. In contrast, vertical farming uses up to 95% less water thanks to recirculating hydroponic systems that minimize waste. Moreover, because these farms are typically indoors, they are not subject to the same pest pressures as outdoor farms, allowing for a significant reduction in pesticide use or even the elimination of pesticides altogether. Vertical farming also offers a solution to the issue of land scarcity. As urbanization continues to expand, arable land becomes increasingly limited. By utilizing vertical space, these farms can produce large quantities of food in urban settings, potentially transforming cities into self-sustaining ecosystems. Additionally, vertical farming can operate year-round, regardless of weather conditions, leading to consistent and reliable food production. Lab-grown meat, a new frontier in protein production. What is lab-grown meat? Lab-grown meat, also known as cultured or cell-based meat, is produced by culturing animal cells in a controlled environment without the need for traditional livestock farming. This process involves extracting cells from a living animal, which are then placed in a nutrient-rich culture medium where they multiply and differentiate into muscle tissue. Over time, this tissue grows to form what is essentially meat, but without the need for raising and slaughtering animals. Environmental and ethical benefits. The environmental benefits of lab-grown meat are potentially transformative. Traditional livestock farming is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, accounting for approximately 14.5% of global emissions. It also requires vast amounts of land, water, and feed. In contrast, lab-grown meat has the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 96%, use 99% less land, and consume 45% less energy compared to conventional beef production. From an ethical standpoint, lab-grown meat addresses concerns about animal welfare. By eliminating the need for animal slaughter, it offers a cruelty-free alternative that could appeal to a broad range of consumers, including those who are concerned about the ethical implications of meat consumption but are not willing to adopt a vegetarian or vegan diet. Plant-based diets, shifting dietary patterns. The rise of plant-based diets. Plant-based diets, which emphasize the consumption of vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds while minimizing or eliminating animal products, are gaining popularity worldwide. This dietary shift is driven by a growing awareness of the environmental impact of animal agriculture health concerns, and ethical considerations regarding animal welfare. The rise of plant-based diets is also fueled by the increasing availability of plant-based alternatives to meat, dairy, and other animal products. Companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have developed plant-based burgers that closely mimic the taste, texture, and appearance of meat, making it easier for consumers to reduce their meat consumption without sacrificing flavor or satisfaction. Environmental and health benefits. The environmental benefits of plant-based diets are well documented. Animal agriculture is a leading cause of deforestation, biodiversity loss, and water pollution. By reducing or eliminating the consumption of animal products, plant-based diets can significantly lower an individual's carbon footprint. A study published in the journal Science found that a global shift to plant-based diets could reduce food-related greenhouse gas emissions by up to 70%. In addition to environmental benefits, plant-based diets offer numerous health advantages. Diets rich in plant-based foods are associated with a lower risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. Plant-based diets are also linked to improved weight management and better overall health outcomes. The convergence of vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets represents a broader trend towards the intersection of technology and sustainability in the food industry. These innovations offer promising solutions to some of the most pressing challenges facing the global food system, including climate change, resource depletion, and food security. One of the most significant contributions of these technologies is their potential to reduce the carbon footprint of food production. Traditional agriculture is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, particularly methane and nitrous oxide, which are much more potent than carbon dioxide. By reducing the reliance on conventional livestock farming and land-intensive crop production, vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets can play a crucial role in mitigating climate change. For example, a study published in the journal Nature found that adopting more sustainable food production practices, including plant-based diets and alternative protein sources like lab-grown meat, could reduce global food-related greenhouse gas emissions by up to 50% by 2050. Vertical farming, with its efficient use of resources and ability to produce food in urban areas, further contributes to this reduction. As the global population continues to grow, ensuring food security for all is a critical challenge. Traditional farming methods may struggle to keep up with the increasing demand for food, especially in regions with limited arable land and water resources. Vertical farming offers a solution by enabling food production in urban areas, closer to where people live. This reduces the reliance on long supply chains and makes food production more resilient to disruptions caused by climate change, natural disasters, or geopolitical conflicts. Lab-grown meat also has the potential to enhance food security by providing a consistent and scalable source of protein. Unlike conventional livestock farming, which is vulnerable to diseases, climate conditions, and other variables, lab-grown meat can be produced in a controlled environment, ensuring a stable supply of high-quality protein. Plant-based diets contribute to food security by reducing the demand for resource-intensive animal products. Producing plant-based foods typically requires fewer resources, such as water, land, and energy, than producing meat. By shifting towards plant-based diets, we can allocate resources more efficiently and ensure that more people have access to nutritious food. The adoption of sustainable food production practices and dietary shifts can also have a positive impact on public health. Diets high in processed foods, red meat, and saturated fats are associated with an increased risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. By contrast, plant-based diets, which are rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes, are linked to better health outcomes and a reduced risk of chronic diseases. Lab-grown meat offers another avenue for improving public health. Traditional meat production is associated with the use of antibiotics and hormones, which can contribute to the development of antibiotic-resistant bacteria and other health concerns. Lab-grown meat eliminates the need for these substances, offering a cleaner and potentially safer source of protein. Vertical farming can also contribute to better public health by providing access to fresh, locally grown produce. In urban areas where access to fresh fruits and vegetables can be limited, vertical farms can supply communities with nutritious food, reducing the prevalence of diet-related health issues. The food industry is at the forefront of these changes, with companies and entrepreneurs driving innovation in vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based products. As consumer preferences shift towards more sustainable and ethical food options, the industry is adapting to meet this demand. Investment in sustainable food technologies is growing rapidly. Venture capital firms, food companies, and even governments are pouring money into startups and research initiatives focused on vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based products. This influx of capital is accelerating the development and commercialization of these technologies, bringing them closer to mainstream adoption. For example, companies like Aero Farms and Plenty are leading the way in vertical farming, using advanced technology to optimize growing conditions and increase crop yields. In the lab-grown meat sector, companies like Memphis Meats and Mosa Meat are working to scale up production and reduce costs, with the goal of bringing affordable lab-grown meat to consumers. Meanwhile, plant-based food companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods are continually innovating to improve the taste, texture, and nutritional profile of their products. The future of food is undoubtedly exciting, with vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets offering innovative solutions to some of the world's most pressing challenges. However, realizing the full potential of these technologies will require overcoming several challenges. One of the most significant challenges is scaling up production to meet global demand. While vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based products have made significant strides in recent years, they still represent a small fraction of the global food supply. Scaling up these technologies will require continued investment, research, and innovation to improve efficiency, reduce costs, and increase production capacity. Consumer acceptance is another critical factor. While there is growing interest in sustainable food options, some consumers remain skeptical of new technologies like lab-grown meat. Building trust through transparency, education, and communication will be essential in encouraging consumers to embrace these innovations. Navigating the complex regulatory landscape is also a challenge. As these technologies are relatively new, they are subject to rigorous safety and regulatory standards. Ensuring that these products are safe, affordable, and accessible will require collaboration between industry, government, and regulatory bodies. The future of food also presents opportunities for collaboration across sectors. Partnerships between technology companies, food producers, policymakers, and consumers will be essential in driving the adoption of sustainable food practices. By working together, stakeholders can create a food system that is more resilient, sustainable, and equitable. The future of food is being shaped by groundbreaking innovations in vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets. These technologies offer promising solutions to some of the most pressing challenges facing the global food system, including climate change, resource depletion, and food security. By reducing the environmental impact of food production, enhancing food security, and promoting public health, these innovations have the potential to revolutionize the way we produce and consume food. As we move forward, it will be essential to continue investing in research, innovation, and education to overcome the challenges associated with scaling up production, gaining consumer acceptance, and navigating regulatory hurdles. By embracing these new technologies and dietary shifts, we can create a more sustainable and equitable food system for future generations. The future of food is not just about what we eat, but how we produce it. Vertical farming, lab-grown meat, and plant-based diets are paving the way for a more sustainable, ethical, and resilient food system that can meet the needs of a growing global population while protecting the planet for future generations. Ask to subscribe to Futuristic Geeks channel for more future tech insights.